This video is brought to you by Brilliant. The Liberal Democrats have been having a great campaign so far. The total collapse in the Conservatives' poll ratings and a tacit non-aggression pact with Keir Starmer's Labour Party mean that, at least according to the Financial Times' poll aggregator, they're currently on track to win about 35 seats, about 4 times as many as they won in 2019. The Britain Elects poll tracker, which assumes more tactical voting between Labour and Lib Dem voters, thinks things are going even better for them, and are currently expected to win about 60 seats. The Lib Dems leader, Ed Davey, has spent most of the first few weeks performing eye-catching stunts to get the media's attention, including falling off a paddleboard, going down water slides, and drumming along to We Will Rock You in a care home. While some people think that this makes him look unserious, it's at least got the Lib Dems more airtime than usual. And yesterday, Davey got the chance to finally do some quote-unquote serious politics when he published the Lib Dems Manifesto. So in this video, we're going to have a look at what's actually in the Lib Dems Manifesto and whether it will be popular. Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay in the loop and be notified when we release new videos. Now, at 116 pages long, we're not going to be able to go through absolutely every pledge in this video, so instead we'll just go through the main pledges. It's claimed in the foreword that the 5 key themes of the manifesto are the promises of a fair deal on the economy, on public services and on the environment, the promise of a strong United Kingdom and a fair international order, and the promise to create a truly fair democracy. So let's go through these in turn. On the economy, the Lib Dems seem to advocate for a lot more state control in order to solve problems. For instance, they promise to tackle rising food prices through a national food strategy, and to get mortgage rates down through careful economic management. They also, though, use this section of the manifesto to really go on the offensive against the Tories, with them claiming that their botched Brexit deal has badly damaged the economy, and they failed to deliver much-needed investment. As such, they claim that in order to get the economy back on track, we should repair the broken relationship with Europe, something that would help to encourage investment. The attack on the Tories doesn't stop there, though. The Lib Dems are keen to point out how high taxes are under the Conservatives, and promise to focus instead on taxing big banks and imposing a one-off windfall tax on the super profits of oil and gas producers and traders. They also claim that they'll close loopholes in capital gains tax, and that, in total, this, alongside reversing tax cuts for big banks, will raise about £9 billion. This money would then be used to help pay for their plan for public services. Now, on the NHS, they promise to give everyone the right to see a GP within 7 days, or within 24 hours if they need to, something that will be achieved by employing an extra 8,000 GPs. Additionally, the Lib Dems have promised to boost cancer survival rates by introducing a guarantee for 100% of patients to start treatment for cancer within 62 days from their urgent referral. On social care, they promised to introduce free personal care, based on a model introduced by the Lib Dems in Scotland in 2002. They've also promised to increase the carers' minimum wage, create a cross-party commission to reach a long-term agreement on social care funding, and give more rights, such as a statutory guarantee of regular respite breaks, to unpaid carers. In fact, Davey's own personal situation, which sees him care for his disabled son, lends the Lib Dems some credibility on this. His story was featured in a Lib Dem campaign video, and it was very well received by people on all sides of the political spectrum. However, questions have already been raised about whether the Lib Dems will be able to raise enough money to pay for all of this. Nick Triggle, the BBC's health correspondent, pointed out that the £9 billion figure we mentioned earlier is just a fraction of what goes on public health and some social care, with the NHS budget increasing by about £10 billion in recent years in cash terms. Even this has not been able to keep up with inflation, though. Anyway, let's move on to the next key area for the Lib Dems, the environment. Keen to appeal to younger voters, the Lib Dems have been rather radical here, promising to cut greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2045 at the latest. They've announced a bunch of smaller policy to help us get there, for example by creating a new 10-year emergency home upgrade programme, huge investment into renewable energy, and the creation of a new Chief Secretary for Sustainability in the Treasury. Included in this section too is the promise to hold big companies to account by giving them a duty to protect the environment. This promise would see water companies be banned from dumping more sewage into rivers. The next section is the Lib Dems' foreign policy. The largest commitment here is the promise to immediately fix our broken relationship with Europe, specifically by coming to a new comprehensive trade agreement which removes as many trade barriers as possible. They also promise, albeit on page 112 of their manifesto, that they'd aim to rejoin the single market at some point in the future. On global conflicts, the Lib Dems promise to continue to back Ukraine and to advocate for an immediate bilateral ceasefire between Israel and Gaza. The Lib Dems have also stated their support for the two-state solution. So, lastly, it's worth going through what the Lib Dems have promised to do on the Constitution. In essence, there are three major changes the Lib Dems are promising to make here. The first is to give the vote to 16 and 17-year-olds. The second is to change the voting system to a proportional one, although they've not specified which one. And the third is to reform the House of Lords, although, other than a commitment to give them a proper democratic mandate, it's not clear how they do this. So, it's clear not only in this section, but throughout the manifesto, that the Liberal Democrats are trying to target the more socially liberal, and those disaffected by the Conservatives. The Lib Dem leadership has already been clear that their top task is to defeat the Tories, and that, while there won't be any formal pacts with Labour, they won't be putting in too much effort into taking seats from them. Perhaps then the manifesto is designed to try and take seats off the Tories by appealing to younger voters in their constituencies. While not fitting neatly into one of the policy areas we've covered in this video, it's worth pointing out that the Lib Dems are, once again, promising to legalise cannabis. This, combined with electoral reform, votes for 16 and 17-year-olds, and a closer relationship with the EU, will really appeal to the young. We'll have to see how this plays out for them, though, in the coming weeks. Now, understanding exactly what has or is going to happen here can be a little tricky, requiring you to evaluate lots of information from different, often partial sources. It would be sensible then to begin improving your critical thinking skills so that you can keep sharp and better understand what's going on. And well, our sponsor Brilliant.org can help you do just that. Brilliant is the online learning platform that's designed specifically to teach you everything from maths, data analysis, programming, and AI from the ground up. You don't need a fancy degree or to have dedicated hundreds of hours to studying any of these. All you need is a device with an internet connection and a few spare minutes a day. And with your spare few minutes, you'll learn by actually doing, with Brilliant providing hands-on lessons that let you play around with concepts, a method that has been shown to be 6 times more effective than just watching lectures. What makes this even better is that this content is created by an award-winning team of teachers, researchers, and professionals from MIT, Caltech, Duke, Microsoft, and more. You can try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days. Just click on the link in the description. That way you'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription.